Welcome to Funda CompuPath. This is Computer Applications Technology, Grade 12 question paper, June 2025, paper 1. In this video, we are going to do question number 6. Web design, HTML or using HTML. Here are the instructions. Note, you may not use a word processing program such as Word to answer the HTML questions. An HTML text sheet has been attached for reference. All files needed to complete this question can be found in the examination folder. In other words, for you to successfully answer these questions, you need to have the documents that are associated with this question paper. 6.1. Modify the web page about an esports tournament the Rising Sun School will host. 6.1. Open the incomplete 6_1 tournament web page in a web browser and also in a text HTML editor. Complete the web to appear as shown in the example below. In other words, at the end of the day, the text or the web page should look like this. The web page should look like this. Then here are the questions. You need to note these questions very well, because the moment I start answering the questions, I may not come back to this page. You need to know them very well. We are going to answer from 6.1.1 to 6.1.6. The instruction says you have to open the file 6_tournament.html, 6_1 tournament.html. Using a text editor, you can also use Notepad. So without any waste of time, let's get started. In other words, right now as you speak, when you load this document using a web browser, it has to load like this. When you load it using your text editor like Notepad, it has to look like this. So all the changes that we are going to make this site will reflect or are going to reflect this site. So all the changes in the text editor that we make in the text editor will appear this site. The question paper said the web page should look like what is shown in the question paper. 6.1.1. Modify the body tag to align the text to display as shown in the previous in the example on the previous page. In other words, once you are here, you will see body, font face, and Tawoma. And let's start from top. There's a head, then we have a title, the Rising Sun Esports Tournament. Then we have 6.1.1. The instruction says we should not delete these markers like 6.1.1, 6.1.2. So when it comes to 6.1.1, it says modify the body tag to align the text to display as shown in the example on the previous page. In other words, it has to be like centered. We have to modify that. So what are we going to do? This is what we are going to do inside the body. Some people may have different strategies or different methods, but I believe in this method that I'm going to use. You have to enter. You see the body? You have to enter like this. And what you are going to do, you are going to write like this, less than sign. Then you write center. Then greater than sign, like this. In other words, now you are sending a command that the text inside the body should be centered, or the body of the web page should be centered. Then font face Tawoma, we make no changes. Then we go to 6.1.2. The instruction says, edit the tag so that the 6_1 logo image will display. Make sure the text logo will display if the image cannot display. If the image cannot display. So what are we going to do? In other words, the image that is shown in our question paper should also be shown in our web page. But it says edit the tag so that the 6_1 logo image will display. So this is what we are going to do. We have to edit this one. And if you go inside those documents that are associated with this question paper, you will realize that the extension of this image, 6_1 logo, is not JPG, is PNG. In other words, we have to change. This is the first thing that we need to change. We have to change it to PNG. Because if we don't change it, it will not appear. It has to be PNG, like this. Then align center. It's all right. Then this is what we are going to do here. We are going to leave a space because the instruction says, make sure the text logo will display if the image cannot display. So this is what we are going to do. We're going to say space here, Alt is equal sign, for just in case if the image doesn't show, at least the text should show. Double apostrophe like this, logo. The word logo should be shown as an alternative if the image is not shown. Your code has to be like this. This is 6.1.2. Make sure your logo is like this. Then now we can move to 6.1.3. Format the heading "Welcome to the tournament" to display as the second biggest heading. Format the heading "Welcome to the tournament." This is 6.3. Welcome to the tournament. This is what we are going to do. We are going to say less than sign H2, heading 2. It has to be just a bit smaller than H1, than the heading 1, which is the Rising Sun School Esports Tournament. Then you say greater than sign. Then you go to the right-hand side. You type it like this. Make sure that you don't forget to put the stroke here, because you are closing. This part is from here to here. It's only from here to here. So you put a slash. Now we need to move to 6.1.4. 6.1.4 says format the text below the heading "Tournament Details." In other words, the text below the heading "Tournament Details" to display as shown in the example on the previous page. Let's look at the previous page. In other words, it has to be centered according to the question paper. It has to say tournament details, date, time, and location. This is 6.1.4. Then our table align, center, everything is all right there. This one, align center, again is all right. Then tournament details, everything is all right there. Then we have to come here. You can see here, less than sign, TR align, is equal sign, double apostrophe center, double apostrophe greater than sign. Then we have date. Then we have date. This is what we are going to do. We are going to say less than sign, like this. It has to be like this. Then you have to come this side. You have to do the same thing. You have to, like, don't forget to put that stroke. In other words, it has to be like this. And make sure you have this part, you leave it like this. TR align center. Yes, everything is okay. Then time, is 18-hour. Let's go down. Align center before location. Location, school hall. Then we are done. We are done. It has to be like this. Then you have the image, like this image, 6_1 line PNG. Then you have rules and regulations on H2. Then we continue. In other words, now we have to move to 6.1.5. You need to save your work consistently. Now we have to move to 6.1.5. It says, modify the HTML code to display a horizontal line above registration with a thickness of 10% and a gold color and a gold color. So in other words, before registration, let's read the question again. 6.1, modify the HTML code to display a horizontal line above registration. Yes, above registration. So in other words, this is what we are going to do. We have 6.1.5, then it means under 6.1.5, this is what we are going to do. We're going to say enter. Because now we have to add this line. This is our code. Horizontal line. Less than sign, HR, space, size is equals to 10%. Is equals to 10%. Space, color is equal sign, gold, according to the instructions. Then you put your slash, greater than sign. This is 6.1.5. You can also leave a space like this. This is 6.1.5. Then let's continue. Our last question is 6.1.6. Correct the HTML code at the end of the document so that the hyperlink will move to the web page, that it will move to just another page. In other words, it has to be clickable. This is what we need to do, 6.1.6. In other words, register now should be clickable. So right now, it's not clickable yet. So this is what we are going to do to correct it. You can see here, you're going to create a space. You're going to write href like this so that it can be clickable. Then is equals to the rising sun.html. double apostrophe, greater than sign, okay, less than sign, something like that. Then, but before, there's something that we need to do here. There's something that we need to do here. We are going to remove this part here. We are going to remove this part, and then we say register now. And then we come this side. We delete this part. This is the part that we need to add. Like this. Then you add a greater sign. Then we have to close our P or our paragraph like this. Like this. Now we are done. And remember that everything has to be centered. Everything has to be centered. On top there, under 6.1.1, under body, we added center. So it means down here, in other words, down here, after font, down here after font, we have to add center. Like this. Please make sure you add a slash. It has to be like this. Then you save. Now let's go and reload our page. In other words, our page was like this. Our page was like this. So now we have to reload it to see if the changes have been made. It means we are done. This is how it should look. This is how it should look. And your registration should be clickable. You see, if it's blue like this, then it means it's clickable. So the moment I click it, it will take me to another page. In other words, like this, it means we have collected all those marks. Let me look at, okay, there is something that we need to fix. You see, these stars, they should not be here. They should not be here because it has to look exactly like what we see in the question paper. So we have to remove these stars here because they should only be here like this. So before we can say we are done, we have to fix the problem. In other words, above our registration, I have IMG SRC 6 line, this one. I have to remove it. It's above registration. Let me just click like this. You remove it. You remove it like that. Then you stay, Control S. Then let's reload our page again. Let's reload our page. Yes, we should only see this golden line, 10% golden line. It means we are done successfully. So